When you are getting your WP4 together, I'd like you to carefully plan out how you're going to organize the content. This isn't as simple as it seems. It doesn't really make very much sense to plan this as talking about WP1, talking about WP2, talking about WP3, because that won't really work. I mean, the ultimate goal of this is to give you a grand theory of writing about writing in your field and to give tips to new writers in your field. If you just talk about it in that way, it's not going to make much sense organizationally. So instead, what you might do to help you plan out is think instead in terms of the tips that you plan to make. So think about what is your tip 1, what is your tip 2, and what is your tip 3, and so on. And then think about what evidence that you want to include under each one. Think about like what you might include. So you might include your professional writing sample that we used from WP1. But you also might use maybe email sample from your interviewee. Or you might use something that you got from your comparison doc. And then you want to do that for for the second tip that you're making as well, going through carefully and looking at what evidence will most clearly back this up. Thinking specifically about what way will this be organized most effectively for your reader. So before you get into it, do think about trying to break those things down, break down the evidence you have, figure out how they'll be grouped into tips, and then figure out what order those tips will go in. As you're making the outline for the homework below, please keep all of these things in mind.